Good morning, and welcome to the AGN Morning Update. Here are today's top headlines. In Malaysia, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and Chinese President Xi Jinping witnessed the exchange of 31 memoranda and documents aimed at boosting bilateral cooperation across sectors, including media, trade, and railways. Internationally, foreign holdings of US Treasuries surged in February, with Canada and Japan leading the pack in net purchases, signaling global investor confidence ahead of bond market turbulence. In Asia, China has outlined conditions for re-entering trade talks with the United States, including a demand for respect, policy consistency, and a designated negotiator with President Trump's full backing. Let's go to Armando for more details.
Thank you, Wanda. Starting with Malaysia, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and Chinese President Xi Jinping presided over the exchange of 31 MOUs and official documents during Xi's three-day state visit to Malaysia. These agreements span a broad range of sectors, including media partnerships, transportation infrastructure, higher education, artificial intelligence, digital economy, tourism, and security cooperation. Among the standout agreements were MOUs involving RTM and Xinhua, Malaysia's Ministry of Transport, and China's National Railway Administration, and collaborations between University of Malaya and Peking University on AI materials. A mutual visa exemption deal was also signed for public affairs and ordinary passport holders. Turning to international news, foreign investors bought a record amount of US Treasury securities in February, with total overseas holdings jumping by $290 billion to $8.82 trillion. Canada and Japan were the biggest net buyers, each adding over $46 billion in long-term treasuries. China, despite recent tensions, also increased its holdings. Market watchers are now closely monitoring future data for shifts in sentiment following President Trump's tariff hikes. And in Asia, China is open to resuming trade talks with the US, but only if certain conditions are met. Beijing demands more respectful rhetoric, consistent US policy positions, and a clear point of contact for negotiations who speaks with President Trump's authority. The Chinese government has voiced concerns over US export controls, Taiwan policy, and recent public statements made by Vice President J.D. Vance, which were labeled ignorant and disrespectful. Back to you, Wanda.
Thank you. These developments highlight a critical moment in Malaysia-China ties and global financial diplomacy. For more updates on today's top stories, stay tuned and follow AGN for more.